Welcome to the Lady Landlords Podcast. If you want to get a rental property before 2024 is over, then you're in the right place. Today, you'll hear part one of a pre-recorded live training from our CEO, Becky Nova. If you're ready to dive in and take notes, then let's get started.
All right, Lady Landlords. We are kicking off day one of our free mini course that's happening all this week. So we're going to be talking all about how to find the best deals in real estate, and I'm going to help you put together actual action steps throughout this week. So if you have not done so, go make sure to grab pencil, pen, something to take some notes on. You can even put notes on your phone, whatever that may look like for you, whatever happens to work best. I want you to go and grab something now as we get started. That's going to become really, really helpful today. All right? Now, just to be clear on this, you are in the right place today if you are somebody that is looking to buy a rental within the next 6 months. Okay. So if you are somebody that is saying, yes, it is now already July, my goal for this year was to buy a rental property, and it is already July, and I need to be able to do that, and I need to pick up that rental property by the end of 2024, put a 6 down in the chat, because that means you're running out of months here to get one. Also, let's say you already bought a property. If you've already bought your first, if you're looking to even get your 10th property now in 2024, but if you're working on your next rental property and are hoping to close before the end of 2024, put a 6 down in the chat so I know that you are in the right place. Melissa's saying yes. We got a couple Amy's on. Helen's saying yes. Amanda's saying yes. Okay, perfect. So I'm glad that you guys really found the right spot, because what we're really doing is we're going to be talking about actionable steps that you can start taking today. Then it's going to get you closer to making sure you close before the end of the year, okay? The other thing I want to say is today we're going to be talking about strategies to pick up properties when you have capital ready to go, okay? When you already have that down payment. Now, we talk a lot about other ways to be able to buy real estate and be able to grow your portfolio with no money down, with no cash on hand, but it is not what we're going to be talking about during this training. So if you are a person that is saying, yes, I have the capital ready to go, I have my down payment, and I am ready to go, I just need a little more support in my next steps, put the word capital down in your chat. Let me know that that's you. Let's make sure to confirm that you found the right place for the right training for the right reasons today, all right? If you're a person that's saying, hey, Becky, actually, I really wanted to hear more about all those strategies, about what you can do to purchase properties because I do not have the capital ready to go, don't worry, I have something for you too. We actually have quite a few podcast episodes. If you do not listen to the Lady Landlords Podcast, we have quite a few episodes that talk all about that. So put the word pod down in the chat if you need those episodes to be able to start talking about how to be able to buy real estate without any of your own money. We are talking about those that are ready to go, that have their credit score in the right place, that have that capital in the right place, and are ready to go and purchase those properties, okay? So every day in this group, I see similar questions. And one of the things that I actually did over the past couple of weeks is I really went back and looked at a lot of the questions that were coming up in the group that dealt with what is stopping so many lady landlords from being able to get their next properties right now. So here are some of the things that we came up with that I'm seeing a lot of people doing. So in Lady Landlords, I am seeing so many people just saying, well, hey, I am looking for those deals, but I'm sitting there, I'm just scrolling throughout Zillow, right? I'm sitting there, I'm just looking at properties every single day, and I do this too. So I know somebody else does. So if you're somebody that's doing this too, and you're looking at properties every single day on Zillow.com, on Realtor.com, on any of those different things, then put the word Zillow down in the chat. Make sure that I am not the only person doing this, but I absolutely go through Zillow and just completely daydream about all those properties that I really want to be able to pick up and buy, okay? So if you are a person that is sitting there, you probably already have Zillow open on another screen or maybe in another window here as you're listening to the sound of my voice. Because I see so many women that are doing this, that'll post in Lady Landlords, hey, is this a good deal? Is this a good deal? It might cash flow. Should I pick it up? Here are the numbers. I am seeing that we have a lot of issues when it really comes down to understanding what is exactly that good deal to us, okay? Also, I saw a lot of people that are also saying, hey, well, let me just put in offers, and then on the back end, I will figure out if this is a good deal. And I want to warn you that that really can be a very dangerous place to go. I can't tell you how many times I have women that'll come and join our inner circle with Lady Landlords, and I'll say, like, great, so do you have the deal analysis on these other properties that you bought? and they come to me and they say, hey, Becky, I have no idea if this property was a good buy. I don't know what my income is. I don't know what the expenses are. At the end of the day, I actually don't know what I am making on these properties. And I'm telling you, that is really a lack of strategic planning up front. We need to make sure that we are very clear on what it is that we are looking for and what it is that we are really looking to get out of real estate investing before we are actually going and buying properties. If you are a person that is sitting there scrolling all day on Zillow, but you don't know what you're looking for, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be upfront with you here. You're really kind of wasting your time, okay? Zillow is not going to say, hey, this is the perfect house for Melissa. It just doesn't work that way. You're not going to see a message, Heather, that Zillow's like, here you go, Heather, this is the property for you. It is our role really as the owners of our real estate portfolio, as the CEO of our investments here, to really make sure that we are very clear on what we are looking for, and therefore can be very directed and very focused and really save our time and energy in the places that we really need, which is on the properties that are making the most sense for us to be able to buy, okay? So, I totally get it though. I had this problem a couple years ago. Actually, one of the last properties that I was buying, I was looking through property after property after property. I cannot tell you how many properties I analyzed over here in Westchester County, New York, looking for something that was actually going to cash flow. And once again, cash flow, at the time, I was really looking to be able to quit my 9-to-5. Many of you guys know that I'm actually a full-time investor. I was actually able to leave corporate America. I left cancer research a little over a year ago. I actually just posted about my anniversary, my Independence Day, literally about a week or two ago. But I remember when I was looking for this property, I was just going through deal after deal after deal, and there was just nothing that I was able to find, okay? But what I really had to go back and do was, when I was looking for something to cash flow, honestly, I needed to really set what that number was, okay? I really needed to get very clear on what it was that I was actually looking for to get out of that property. And that was something that I really had just kind of like skipped over, right? I ended up being in this place where it was like either kind of like a yes or a no, rather than really saying like, hey, if this cash flows X amount of dollars, I then need Y amount of properties to be able to really quit that 9-to-5. That was something that math I actually had really skipped over. So what I did was I really went back through that, kind of reverse engineered what type of cash flow I needed, what type of properties I needed in my portfolio, and then was able to create a blueprint, step-by-step, of what types of properties I needed to be able to buy. Then I went back to those properties, even just on the MLS. There were properties that had still been sitting there that I'd been looking at for months, and I went back and I reevaluated them. Now with this new lens, now with this new plan, and having that strategically thought about beforehand, so then that way I could just go through and flip through properties just like flipping through a deck of cards and be like, nope, this one does not fit what I was looking for. Nope, this one does not fit. Ding, 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 this one does. And that was exactly how I was able to pick up that next property. That was actually a duplex in Hudson Valley, in Orange County, New York. If anybody else is local, I know we have a couple people that are not so far away from me over here in the tri-state area. I know that there's a lot of other people that we have that are also in this area here. But that property itself, even with that down payment, that and financing the rest of that property, that actually gave me a raise of $1,700 a month. I don't know about anybody else, but $1,700 a month coming in on day one of the month, that's an absolute game changer, okay? That absolutely changed the amount of time it was going to take me and the amount of properties that I was going to need to be able to really leave that full-time job, right? $1,700 a month. I have never worked at a company that at the year's end we're like, great, so we're going to give you your end of year merit increase, your bonus increase, your cost of living adjustment. I've never been given $1,700 a month. So that to me was absolutely huge to be able to do. Thea, you're in the Bronx, so you completely understand. You know I own property down in the Bronx as well. So I totally get it. I am out there with you ladies, navigating this market. We all know that things have completely changed, and honestly, for the rest of this year, it's going to change. And you know what? Next year it's going to change, because the market and the economy are always making differences, and we as investors, there's no such thing as a good market or a bad market. It's just, how do we navigate it? How does it then fit into our plan? And what are the things that we are able to do to make sure that the steps that we're taking, what we're buying, what we're looking for, what we're growing into, is actually also modifying and pivoting with what's going in the economy in that place of time, okay? So I was so happy I was actually able to pick up one of my last properties just a few months ago. Many of you know I actually live in the Dominican Republic during the winter. It was really cool to be able to do that full rehab, that full flip from being all the way down in the Dominican Republic, hanging out on the beach, checking in with my contractors, getting pictures, getting updates of really that rehab that was going through. We were able even to get it rented. So that was something that even long distance, and I know we have quite a few people on here that are also looking to become out-of-state investors. If you are a person that is looking to buy in another state, give me an OOS down in the chat. Let me know that you are a person that is looking to really invest long distance. Those are things that are absolutely possible in this industry. And with the way that technology is these days, you really don't have to be anywhere specifically in order to continue to grow your portfolio and bring in that cash flow, okay? So, who here believes that real estate investing is the best way out there to be able to hit financial freedom? If that is you, if you are saying, yep, that's why I'm in this group, that's why I'm in Lady Landlords, because I believe that real estate investing is what's going to get me to financial freedom, put a Y down in the chat, okay? Let's see, we really want to be focusing on real estate investing. So who here is saying that real estate is your ticket to financial freedom? If that is you, put a Y down in the chat. Oh God, we just got a whole bunch of Ys going through that chat. Listen, I totally get this. This was something that I had to go through myself. Many of you guys know that I actually lived in Europe for many years. I'd worked in the pharmaceutical industry, but really needed a change. So I actually left the pharmaceutical industry back when I was still in my 20s. I became very disillusioned with what the pharmaceutical industry was doing and said I needed a change. So I moved over to Spain. I used to live in Sevilla. I owned a tour company over there. I then expanded into Portugal. I bought a bar in Portugal, and I bought a little bus that then took people from Spain to Portugal between my tour company, between my restaurant, and kind of back and forth. When I lost that, honestly, my credit was completely ruined. I lost over $100,000 in that restaurant and moved back to the States with a horrible credit score, a ton of debt, and really needed to be able to rebuild from there. At that point, I went all out on a mission to understand finances, to understand financial literacy. I know I'm not alone in this group of other women that really just did not get any type of financial training, understanding from either school, from parents, whatever it may look like, but I was absolutely in that. The idea of stocks or bonds or mutual funds or anything like that, honestly, was completely over my head, okay? So as I now started looking into these, I went and I actually did a ton of research into what it would look like to put my money into stocks, to put my money into those bonds, to put money into CDs, to buy a franchise, venture capitalism, even honestly looking into multi-level marketing. It just seemed like it made sense. And all those other people always talk so fantastic about it. So I looked into a lot of different options of what I would be able to do to be able to invest and really rebuild after losing my businesses in Europe. But the thing that just always clicked in my mind and made sense to me was have home, rent rooms. People are always needing a place to live, and it's a very tangible thing, right? I know I'm not alone. I know there's a lot of other people, because I speak to Lady Landlords every single day, that also talk about how real estate just makes sense. You can see it, you know what that looks like, and what's great is you can still diversify within real estate investments. There are so many different other things that you can still use to supplement and diversify, but real estate, at least for me, is absolutely that cornerstone, that foundation for not only what pays my bills today, but also what's going to continue to pay my bills moving forward. One of the other things that I love about real estate investing is you can really have a minimal down payment for maximum leverage, okay? So if anybody is familiar with the term house hack, we talk about that a lot here. If you're familiar with house hack, put an HH down in the chat, okay? So if you're familiar with house hack, put an HH down in the chat. But house hacking, for example, is actually how I got started in real estate. When I was looking to first buy real estate, that was a property that my husband and I, we wanted to still stay in that New York City area, but it's pretty expensive over here. So what we decided to actually do was to purchase a duplex, and we were going to live in one side and rent out the other side, okay? That's house hacking, because then you have a tenant living in the other side of that property and is really contributing to what that mortgage looks like. I bought that first property back in 2018, and what was really cool was we only had to put down a very small down payment. When properties are owner occupied, when you are living in that property, you can put down a much smaller down payment, okay? That allowed us to get into that property, but honestly, at that time, not only did we get to live for free, we actually made money. The rental property actually brought in enough money to cover the entire mortgage and still leave us with a couple $100. Not a lot, but it really made a difference. And living for free in the New York City area, that's pretty cool. That's really a game changer there. So here, that's when I really learned that real estate investing is a little bit different, because most other investments, like buying stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you're really a dollar to a dollar exchange, okay? If I want a certain amount of shares of things, I have to pay the dollars to be able to buy the shares, right? Yes, the idea is that share amount is actually going to change, and then you're either going to make money or lose money on that, but I still had to put in kind of that 1-to-1 ratio to be able to purchase that share of that stock, for example. Real estate investing is different. At really worst case scenario, you're putting down like 25%. And I know people are like, Becky, but that's 25%. Now, as we just talked about with owner-occupied properties, you can put down a 3.5% with FHA loans. You can be putting down a 5%, 10% in certain places. And once again, like we talked about in the podcast, there are a bunch of different ways that you can actually put zero down to be able to purchase property. But even worst case scenario, with an investment property, a non-owner occupied loan, you're really putting down about 25% that day. But you actually get the full asset, okay? Yeah, you have a mortgage, yeah, you have to pay that off, but I get that asset that I can start to borrow against, to leverage against, right? And the full income still comes to me, even though I only paid a quarter of the price, I still actually get the full value of that. That is something that really makes real estate investing just so unique. The third thing that I absolutely love about real estate investing, and something that I find really different than a lot of other investment vehicles, is really the idea of the tax benefits. Now, I know we have some women that really have come into real estate investing purely for the taxes. So if anybody out there is the person that's saying, hey, I really am looking to purchase rental properties purely for the idea of tax advantages, put the word tax down, right? Let me know that you were like, no, the most important thing, the reason that I want to invest in real estate investing is for taxes, okay? So put tax down if that is you. But here you have tax benefits rather than just having tax consequences. There really are only two guarantees in life, as they say, death and taxes. Now, other investments can start to become liabilities when it comes to that. The reason for that is really those capital gains. Now I get it. Even with rental properties and the income we create when we sell, there really are also those capital gain taxes that you're going to see in other investment vehicles. But we also have 1031 exchanges, which means that we can continue to grow our investments, to grow our properties, and actually defer what those capital gains are, and we don't have to necessarily pay those taxes at that point in time. So regardless of deductions, the benefits, the depreciation that you can actually take when you're owning the property, but you also even get those benefits even when you're able to sell your rental property. Those are really just so many amazing things that I personally love about real estate investing. This is something that we talk about all the time in the Lady Landlords Inner Circle. If you are not familiar with the Lady Landlords Inner Circle, we are a small group, right? We have almost 50,000 ladies here in Lady Landlords itself. That's going to be amazing. 50,000 real estate investors across the United States. But the Inner Circle really allows for a lot more of those connections to be built, and as we are a much smaller group, and really keep the group at around 40, 50 women, okay? Very, very different. What's great about that too is you get to know each other and get really committed to each other person's growth and really supporting them along that journey. I can't tell you how many times I've actually seen women in the Lady Landlords Inner Circle that have started working together, have really kind of combined what they're doing and partnered up and just gone out and taken down deals. It's been really cool. All the women in that group know that the Lady Landlords method for compounding cash flow is the fastest way to be able to accomplish reaching financial freedom through real estate investing. So, if you want to dive into what that compounding cash flow program is, come back for day 2 as we really dive into that. So, here is your homework assignment for day 1. So, make sure you're following the steps. I asked everybody to go grab something to take some notes on. So, here's what you're doing today. After we get off of this call, I want you to just time block 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. You can set an alarm, you can put it on your calendar, set your timer, but I want you to think for 5 minutes about why real estate is the best investment vehicle over other things, over stocks, over bonds, over starting a different type of business, over network marketing, whatever it may be. I want you to think for 5 minutes about why real estate makes the most sense to you specifically. All right, perfect. As you see, we got a lot of women committing to doing their homework. I love it. I love seeing you guys take action and be able to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so proud of all of you guys. Ladies, I will see you back in the Lady Landlords Facebook group.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Landlords Podcast. If you're feeling stuck in your real estate investing journey, visit lady-landlords.com to book a 15-minute orientation call with me and see if you're ready to join our mentorship program. Or you can subscribe to our newsletter and join our Facebook group for exclusive real estate investing tips and offers. Invest with confidence. Become a Lady Landlord today.